In this video, I want to talk about how I got into the practice of meditation and also how I came about the particular practice of meditation that I've used for the last several years in favor of any other meditation practice that I might have previously done or that might still yet be presented to me today. There's a particular way I do it, and there's really nothing that has taken me away from that method, including many other things that people have shown me. And there's reasons for that. It's not that I'm not open-minded to other things. I have just discovered what works for me, and in part, I've also discovered why it works. So I want to talk about that today. Number one, a lot of people meditate. If you're probably watching this video, you meditate because you want to relax. You want to feel relaxed. You want to feel at ease. You might even be meditating before you go to bed so that you go to bed easier. For me, what I discovered is those various meditation practices are hypnotic. When I say they're hypnotic, I don't mean that I'm like walking around like a zombie or like I'm hypnotized to do something that I wouldn't ordinarily do. I simply mean that they're putting me in, they put me in a state of mind where I'm not seeing things as they actually are, which is the exact opposite of the effect I'm trying to go for. So when I meditate, I'm really, and I also, the other thing is, I don't get rid of my thoughts when I meditate. Like, there's a ton of people who say, oh, I can't meditate, or I've tried meditation, but I can't stop my thoughts, so therefore they don't meditate. I never, ever, 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 ever try to stop my thoughts because I can't. I cannot stop my thoughts, period. End of story. That's it. Like, the thoughts just come. And here's the thing, like, the thoughts are not most of my thoughts, as I see them, are not my own thoughts. And I don't mean that somebody else is thinking for me, although I kind of do. Like, they're not, like, I cannot control to a certain degree what thoughts come into my head. So I guess I can control what thoughts I act on, but for me, I had to find a way to separate from thoughts, because I tried when I first started meditating. I thought that I was supposed to push thoughts out of my mind. And what that did for me was it made me feel like conflict. It made me feel anxious and nervous, like not at ease. And I was like, this cannot be meditation. This cannot be the purpose of meditation. I don't care what any book or guru or person says, this cannot be it. Because it just didn't feel like a natural human condition. And for me, I believe meditation, I use meditation to get into a state of consciousness that I believe is the default state that I'm supposed to be in. And I even believe that other people are supposed to be in it, but I'm not here to tell you what to do or not do. I'm just telling you what I believe for myself. And so, like, I tried loving kindness meditations where I'm like thinking about how to be loving and kind toward others. I've practiced meditation where I'm pushing thoughts out of my head. I'm practiced meditation where I'm observing thoughts. But how can I observe the thoughts if I'm the one thinking? Or, like, how can I observe them if I'm not separated from them? And that's, for me, why I arrived at the meditation that I use, because it allows me to separate the thoughts from myself or insulate myself from the thoughts. And I don't mean like, I mean, I think there's thinking going on. I don't stop the thoughts. What it does is it insulates me from emotionally based thoughts like resentment, fear, agitation, doubt, anxiety, things like that. Well, maybe not anxiety, but all these other like highly emotional states. And like, it allows me to like notice that the thoughts are there, notice that the emotions are there, but have a layer of insulation between the me that is me and those thoughts. And that might be a little hard to understand, but I mean, I can explain if somebody has a question, but for me, like, I have to also go back to why I wanted to, um, you know, meditate. For me, I needed to wake up to reality. And I knew that I wasn't awakened to reality because for a long time I lived a very miserable existence where everything was constantly irritating me, and everyone else seemed to have this intuition that flowed through them, in and through them, where they kind of like knew how to handle life, even in situations where they weren't necessarily given an instruction manual of any kind. They just effortlessly learned how to do things, learned how to navigate things, and did them. For me, what I realized is, left to my own devices, I am stuck in my head, in my intellect, and I'm relying on this flawed mechanism, my brain and the intellect, to try to figure out life. And I'm highly attached to the voice of reason and calculations to navigate life, solving problems. And these could be big problems or these could be small problems. I'm talking about all of them. And I realized that there were some life problems, in fact, many, most, uh, that I could not rely on studying to try to learn how to handle them, or, getting into my head and brainstorming and analyzing and crisscrossing and doing all the permutations in my head about how to solve a particular problem. I realized I couldn't do that. And so what I discovered is that I had to start to step back from problems. I don't mean avoid them. I mean step back from them. Stepping back from the willful attempt to solve those problems. So this is where the meditation comes in. But I also want to disclose here that I am an alcoholic. I haven't had a drink in many, many, many years. And so, as a result of being an alcoholic, I was driven to a particular way of life that is spiritual in nature, that connected me to a power greater than myself that some might call God. And I needed that in order to stay sober, number one. And there were other addictions and things like that that I suffered from, and I needed freedom from that. And I knew that of myself, I was nothing, and that I could not solve those problems on my own. And so I needed to wake up. I needed to have a different reality. If you look at like I'm not like an expert on the movie The Matrix with Neo, but when Morpheus gives him the red and the blue pill, and he takes the pill, that he says, okay, this one you take, you're going to wake up from the dream, and you're going to see just how far the rabbit hole goes. I had to take that pill because um, I was stuck in a dream, and in my dream reality, me seeing the way I was seeing it, I was not able to solve any problems of mine or anybody else's. And like, that's all well and good, but that lifestyle was killing me. So I had to wake up. So I had to pursue a spiritual way of life. And I, got connected with the 12 steps, 12 step fellowships. People are familiar with those. And, that there were some instructions to follow. And so I did those to the best of my ability. And that allowed me to connect with a power greater than myself, which removed the alcohol problem from me and some other debilitating issues as well. And so with that, I need to maintain that state of consciousness that I was blessed with through having that experience. And so that's where meditation for me comes in. So the meditation I use is specifically to wake me up and keep me awake and allow me to navigate life effortlessly, intuitively. And a lot of times I'm not able to navigate life effortlessly and intuitively. It's because I fail to practice. Usually it's because I fail to practice meditation, correctly and consistently and all the things. But it was a meditation that allowed me to realize that I am not my thoughts and emotions, and my thoughts and emotions are not me. So I was able to stand or sit and be objective to those thoughts and emotions. And that allowed me to, my mind to be a little bit more free, to be used in the way that a person would obviously use their mind to navigate life. So meditation, I just think like if you're not interested in meditation, then don't meditate at all ever if you don't want to. But if you are interested in meditation, I would strongly encourage you. Well, I'll tell you to do what I did. I had to set aside everything that I thought I knew about meditation and really start to investigate which method was the right method for me. And I discovered it. And I wouldn't trade it for there's no other meditation I ever need. I've been doing this for a long time, and I'd be shocked if I ever come to anything else. Because for me, the answer is not the meditation. The answer is the state of consciousness that I'm brought to when I practice meditation regularly. So if that resonates with you, great. If not, no big deal. But just know, if you're one of these people who is watching this video and you're not meditating because you feel like you can't meditate because you can't shut off your brain, well, join the club. I cannot shut off my brain either, and I don't try. That's it. Thank you.